people are gonna come up. It's good to be here. 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 Let's see how people are gonna join us today. So about getting ahead. Okay, let's see. They're telling followers that we started a live video. Let me follow myself. Oh, nice. I'm following myself, looking at myself. Connecting. Nope. So that the internet is working real fast. I was able to connect from this phone to this phone. Or should I connect back to the office internet?
Is that sure?
That would be a quick challenge to quick before it to come back on. It's take a few minutes. Yeah, because I don't know if hello, so we got engine room 99. Hello, just gonna give you a quick wave. Let's see who else can join us before we start. Damien Okonkwo. Hello Damien, how are you today? I'm just waiting for a few people to jump on before we kickstart proceedings. Hopefully get a few more people to join us and we begin. Just 1 second, guys. Just 1 second. So let's see if we have more people join us, so we don't have to repeat ourselves all over again, or if not, we go ahead and we start. Yes. Okay, so I think we just start. It doesn't matter about the number, it's all about the impact, it's all about the value that you get, not necessarily about the number. My name is Christopher Omoijiade. I'm fondly called the CEO. I'm the chief storyteller at the Omoijiade company, and I am also the author of this book. It's called Get Ahead. And I've been invited to jump on this platform by Bookmarket NG. And what we really want to discuss today is getting ahead from a Nigerian perspective. And hello, Bella Books. Good to see you there too. I'm going to give you a quick wave. And one of the reasons why I'm going to try and run through first the inspiration behind the book. And secondly, I'm also going to try and share a few of the principles that are embedded in this book. What is vital for you to understand and know is that from all my research and from all the work that went into the book, I found out quite sincerely that even though there are definitely many different doors that you can open to success, you must always remember that the keys are always the same. I hope somebody got that. So it doesn't matter how many doors that you can open to success. All the doors can be different. So for instance, you can have a different door here if you're Nigerian, if you're American, if you're Chinese. It doesn't matter. But what is important that you note is that the keys that open those doors are all the same. That for me was mind-blowing. So a couple of years ago, I jumped on this project, and one of the reasons why was because I have a legal background, been a lawyer for about a decade and a half, and also been involved in quite a number of businesses. And I ran through more or less a terrible stage of my life. And one good thing about when you run through a terrible state is that it gives you time to reflect, it gives you time to think, and most especially, it gives you time to know what is important and get rid of what is not. I think that is important. And in the process of doing all of that, I ended up, hello Alamio, thank you for joining us. I ended up writing. I found myself in a deep, dark place that I never knew or thought existed. And I felt I had been successful in every area of my life up to that moment. And immediately I got into that state of mind. I got to what I would call the ground zero, where nothing seemed to be working. I started writing. And in course of my research and writing, I ended up realizing that I had actually dug a very deep hole. What I mean by that, I discovered that I had done a lot of research, and I tried to find what exactly makes successful people think. I didn't want to look at it from a Nigerian perspective. I didn't want to look at it from an American perspective. I didn't want to look at it from a British perspective. What I wanted to look at it was from the human perspective. Because success, I can assure you, doesn't recognize the color of your skin. Success doesn't recognize your creed. Success doesn't recognize your age. Success doesn't recognize your religion. Success does not care. As long as you obey and abide by the rules which nature had given you, you will get successful. It's that simple. So when I learned that principle, I was just blown away. So I found myself in this state, in this situation where I had so much information. So I was speaking to people, I was still doing trainings and consulting, and I was pouring out quite an amount of information on people. And I got people ask me time and time again without number, Chris, can you put most of all these principles together? Can you put them and collapse them together? You talk about this, you talk about procrastination, you talk about wealth, you talk about health, you talk about emotional intelligence, you talk about, goal setting, you talk about all of these things. Would it be wise if we can collapse a lot of this together for the benefit of all? And the result, like I said, is this book, Get Ahead. And this book is what I call the practical steps to face life's realities and embrace success. Now, we all Nigerians, I mean, from what I can see so far, those on the page are Nigerians. What I have since realized and I have since discovered is that these principles you will hardly check many other books and you probably find the same principles, probably said in different formats, in different ways. But the principles do not change. It's almost like the law of gravity. Whatever goes up must come right back down. It's standard. It's the same thing with the laws that govern success. If you can follow those principles, you are assured that you will embrace success. The book contains 41 different chapters, and basically what this book really covers is it starts from your birth and ends with your death. So literally, it's from beginning to the end. And why is that so? I found out that a lot of people have misconceived notions on what success represents and what success really does mean. A lot of people have ideas of success and they think, okay, you know what, I want to be successful. And the first thing that comes to your mind is a Ferrari. I want to be successful. The first thing that comes to your mind is a Lamborghini. I want to be successful, and the first thing that comes to your mind is a private jet. Whilst none of those stuff I just mentioned are negative or bad in any way for anybody to aspire to own, you must understand that for you to be truly successful, you must define success by your own parameters. Did you get that? You must define success by your own parameters. Please, if there anybody out there, if you can hear me and you can see me, I want you to wave, I want you to say hello, I want you to drop a comment, I want you to drop a question, whatever it is, so I don't feel that I'm speaking to this black gentleman that I'm staring at. So please wave or drop a comment so I can be sure that I have some people there that are listening. Make sure that the audio is perfect, make sure that the video is perfect as well. If you can do me that favor, I will greatly appreciate before I proceed. So anybody out there, just wave, just send the comments, just drop a line and just do something, please, so that we can proceed on success. Let's see. Wherever you all are, I hope it's not crazy out there, because I know it rained a couple of minutes ago, and we all know the way Lagos can be where it rains. So stay safe, drive safe, be safe, and you'll be good. Is anybody gonna wave at me? Anybody gonna wave? Dami Craig, thank you for joining us. Damien, thank you. Oh, wonderful. Like I said, it's not the size of the audience that matters, it's the impact. You know, for those who are, for instance, you find out that even the biggest religions in the world all started with one individual. I found out that it's not the numbers, all that it takes. Thanks, Dami. Thanks for the wave. So I'm going to proceed. Now, with success, I have discovered that for it to be meaningful, Mr. Obama said something that really blew me concerning that. For it to be meaningful to you, you must define success by your own parameters. What do I mean by that? You cannot define success based on what Mr. Jegede next door thinks success is. You cannot define success based on what Instablog thinks that it is. You can't define success based on what another friend of yours thinks that success is. Success, for it to be meaningful, must come from you. So clearly, all you need to do, first things first, is define what does success mean to me. I have discovered and I have heard, I have spoken to thousands of people all across. I have spoken, I've seen people, and I have discovered that many of them are actually wrapped in their mind. They have no idea what success really does mean. You need to sit down and define what success means to you. If success to you means being educated, by all means, my brother, my sister, run with it. If success to you means being fit and healthy and have fruitful relationship with family and friends, run with it. If success to you means owning half of the world, I am not going to knock that also. I'm going to give you the thumbs up and tell you to run with it. So the starting point, like we did in the book, the very first chapter in this book talks about success and purpose. You must discover what success means to you, and next you must be able to discover what purpose means. Without purpose, you're almost like a ship without a rudder. You're on the high seas and you have no clear direction of where you should be going. So with success principles, once you're able to abide and live by them, you will end up realizing that your life accelerates a lot faster. You know, the best part is I had a gentleman just signing, and this is just one of my staff. So Muiwa, I'm going to wave at you like I've woven and waved at everybody else. So I hope you and the other guys in the other office are also watching, because you also need to learn as well. I have an amazing team with me here at the Omoijiade company, and they all put in all their efforts, and I wouldn't have done this without all of them. So a big shout out to all of them there. So I continue. For you to be able to abide by these rules, whether you're in Nigeria or anywhere else, we have the same problems. Yes, I do agree that there are many problems that are unique to us being Nigerians. So for instance, if you go up to Europe, you wouldn't find some individual complaining about probably government services and registering a business. You probably might not find the business owner complaining about lack of electricity. You probably might not find some certain individuals complaining about basic things that become the norm. I agree. I subscribe and I agree. But what I do know is that regardless of the peculiarity of the society you exist in, the success keys remain the same. Those principles do not bend to the whims and caprices of a society. So it doesn't matter if you're in Europe and you're in America and you think, oh, because I am in Europe and because these people in America have it better than me, or I'm in Nigeria. Those principles are the same. My book club, NG, thank you for joining us. Those success principles are the same. Success principles do not bend. They do not curve. They will not adapt to what you believe or perceive because of your environment. So it is one of the reasons why I use the example of the law of gravity earlier on. If you jump off a 20-story building in New York, you will not float. You're going to come crashing down the pavement. If you jump off the same 20-story building in Victoria Island, it's even worse for you because there's a possibility that you not only crash, but you'll be left behind there after you have crashed. I think that's really bad. No emergency services save you. But what am I trying to say? These success principles don't bend. They do not respect. They are universal. They are concrete. They're strong. They only abide by the application. That's all. So, for instance, in this book, you end up finding principles that are, like I said, that are completely unique. For instance, it starts with, I have a chapter here, which is chapter 2, that talks about seizing your day. And it comes from a Latin phrase that means carpe diem, which means seize your day. And one thing I have found out that it doesn't matter. I don't care where you are. If you do not seize your day, if you do not make a conscious, intentional effort to own and control the affairs of your day, you can't be successful. What you will discover is that a lot of people jump into a new day, and whatever the day brings at them, slaps, punches, they just accept. Do you know that the most successful people walking the face of the earth, many of them seize their day even from the night before? Yeah. They don't wait for that day. Thank Layla on the scorebook store for joining us. They do not wait for the day to manifest before the season. It's universal. Many times, all of us in this country read interviews by the richest African and the richest black man in the world, Alhaji Aliko Dangote. And many times I read a lot of his interviews. One thing that strikes me is how much he talks about a lot of the hard work. He talks about, lack of sleep. He talks about a lot of all of that. Whilst I believe in a balance anyway, because I love my sleep, I have soon discovered that he shares that trait with every successful person that I researched on. They all seize their day. They just don't let their day creep up on them. They don't wake up by 6 a.m. in the morning and ask, what am I going to do today? It's impossible. Many of them, the day before, have already agreed within themselves what they're going to accomplish the next day. There's an amazing story that I have in this book concerning seizing your day, for instance, that I would like to share with you. And it comes from Alex Ferguson. Now, I'm a proud Manchester United supporter, so apologies to any other fan out there. And so Alex Ferguson was speaking to the former CEO of the watch store, the watch company called Hublot. And he was telling Alex Ferguson about how when he used to work, or when he applied to work at the watch company called Omega many years ago, his interviewer told him, I want you to come in for this interview by 5 a.m. Now, if anybody has ever been in Switzerland or any part of it, just at 4 5 a.m., you're going to be frozen. And he asked, when he got there, there were no cars in the parking lot. There was nobody, but this man was in the office. And he remember saying, he asked this gentleman and said, why in the world would you set up a meeting by 5 a.m. in the morning? I mean, that's just ridiculous. That's ludicrous. And he replied to him and said, do you realize that by starting my day and seizing my day a few hours before everybody else, I have gone ahead to be a lot more productive. I've gone ahead, I've gained more time. I've gone ahead to be successful. So when I say that these laws do not respect anybody, you will understand that clearly you need to abide by the principles. The principles, I'm going to try and run into as many for the few minutes that we have in here. Please drop a question. Drop a question. I love to see questions. Whatever it is that you are, whatever it is that unique to your circumstance, situation, I would love to treat it before this video is over. So drop a question. Let's not make this one-sided. Drop a question, whatever it is concerning the subject of success, whatever challenge it is, whatever question it is, drop. Another beautiful, amazing principle I have here is about watching your choices and your habits. In Nigeria, many of us complain about so much. But if you think deep and you reflect on your own circumstance, you will realize that a lot of your own personal habits and choices have led you to the present situation that you have found yourself in. You didn't just wake up one morning and find yourself broke. You didn't just wake up one morning and realize that the whole world was crashing down on you. Many of us have imbibed a lot of bad, unproductive habits, and we make constant, wrong, bad choices. The law of cause and effect is a law that I respect so much, which means when there's a cause, there will be an effect. But many of us do the cause, avoid the effect, and think that the results will change. It doesn't happen that way. So clearly, you must watch your choices and you must watch your habits. I also spoke about the importance of reading. Yes, I know a lot of people will say to me that why reading, but clearly I tell you, readers are leaders, and if you do not read, trust me, you're in trouble. So Damien asked a lovely question. He said, what's the single most important principle that keeps you grounded no matter what happens? I think it has to do with probably with value. There's a chapter here that says, what value do you carry? I call myself the dean of value creation, or rather, a lot of people gave me that name. And the principle of value is really clear. Give value, and you get value. That's simple. No rocket science about it. If you give value, you get value. So, I got that from one of my own mentors, a man by the name of Jim Rohn, who is late now, an amazing man. You need to check him up on YouTube, check his books, amazing man. And he was able to teach me and able to impact my life in such a positive way that every single thing I do, if it's in my speech, if it's in my actions, if it's in my business dealings, if it's in my networking, I always endeavor to show that I have value to give the other person. Once you build yourself to be a person of value, you will be that one individual that everybody and anybody will find it difficult to exist without. So you find out that to a large extent, many of us struggle. I have my son who just jumped in real quick to my office, wondering why daddy is still late at work. But I'm sure you understand, so forgive the cry. And you find out that a lot of people don't give value, but they expect value back in return. It's ludicrous. It doesn't work that way. I just spoke about Laji Aliko Dangote. He's giving you value, and we're all giving the value back in return. If you're a lover of football, you support Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, they are giving you value in form of entertainment. It's the reason why you're spending all your money, and they are one of the wealthiest and the richest in the world. If you're a Christian or Muslim or wherever it is, and you have a religious leader who you constantly bless or give something to, it's because clearly such a person is giving you value. If you get into a Uber today or a Taxify or a Bolt Ride or any car hailing company and you pay, you got transported from point A to point B, but they've given you value. So what my most important principle that keeps me grounded no matter what is value? I think the value proposition is one of the most important principles that just keeps me going concerning success. I may have many other principles concerning different facets of my life, maybe concerning my health, concerning emotions, concerning relationship. But if I answer your question, Damien, correctly, concerning success, single most important principle that keeps me grounded no matter what happens is value. It doesn't go out of fashion. You will always remain relevant. It doesn't matter if it's January, it doesn't matter if it's December. It doesn't matter if it's one person or a million people. It does not matter. Give value, you get back value. So, any more questions? Do not feel shy. Please show them at us. I don't know how much time Book Market has given me to hijack this page, so I'm trying to rush through as fast as I can. I appreciate the opportunity to share little that I have.